Stitches and Sundries. I'm Devynn.
I'm Lauren.
And welcome to our Yarn and Fiber episode 1. If you haven't seen it yet, take a look at our channel update video. We are going to link it below. We're going to have it
up there.
It'll also be linked at the end of the video. Definitely worth a check out. You'll notice we have some older episodes, but we have given ourselves a new look, new format. Check out that video to see why.
Yeah, we're trying to start fresh and be a super great knitting and fiber podcast.
Yes.
And crochet and all kinds of yarny goodness. So I hope you enjoy.
Exactly. So I'm Devynn. I have been knitting for 8 years. I've crocheted for 1, so I'm really a novice crocheter. For knitting, I have made mainly shawls, a few scarves, hats, that sort of thing. I really prefer shawls, although I have started sweater knitting and that's been exciting. I really like having multiple projects going on at once, just to keep my interests, I like having something easygoing that I can also put down and I can pick up something complicated. That's when I tell the boyfriend to shush, shush, don't talk to me. Turn off the TV too. So I like my variety of projects. And I'm a really big fiber enthusiast. I love yarn and fiber. So you will notice when we get to acquisitions of our episodes that there's a few new yarny acquisitions. So Lauren, you want to tell a little bit about yourself?
My name is Lauren. I am a crocheter. I've been crocheting about 6 years. I tend to crochet for gifts. I'm not a person that crochets a lot of personal items, so I don't do wearables. I do a lot of blankets, baby blankets, that kind of thing. I'm working on a giant blanket, which you'll see later. But I have done hats, scarves, headbands, gloves. I think I've done a little bit of everything. I haven't done a sweater. I haven't done a crochet sweater.
Might be coming.
I am to Devynn's fiber enthusiasm. I have really enjoyed learning from her. But I'm a budget knitter, so so if you're like, or not a knitter, crocheter, if you're like oh my gosh, so beautiful, but $40 a skein, I'm here for you. I'm doing a blanket right now that has taken over 40 skeins and it's still going, so there's no $40 a skein in my life.
Yeah.
But it is super fun. We go on yarny road trips. We've been friends for like 6 or 7 years.
7 years.
We've worked together a lot of that time. We've
crafted together for a while.
together for a really long time. We always seem to like come back to the same spot in life. And so when we were thinking about doing a podcast, we're like, yeah,
let's
do that.
We can do this.
Yeah. And it's super fun. And
it has been very fun.
We hope we have some fun projects that you guys will be interested in and can bring different perspectives to the hobby and things like that. And I'm super excited to get this started.
Yes. So are we going to move into our first finishes?
Ooh, yes. Let's talk about some finishes.
So
you have a finish. I have finishes, but I've given them all away.
Because Lauren likes to give things away.
I'm
She's a
gifter.
gift knitter. I'm working on...
I always say that.
I say knitting so much that she says knitting, even though that's not
absorbed.
her hobby.
It just gets absorbed.
So, I've been knitting, for the 8 years that I've said, and I'm really working on, having a wardrobe and even household decorations that are homemade and beautiful and stylish. So, I'll talk about what I'm wearing, even though it's not the most recent finish that I have. So I'll take it off so you guys can see
our next episode will be we'll bring in some finishes. I'll snag some from people and you can bring in some finishes and we'll show off.
Yeah.
So you can get an idea of the kind of stuff we like to work on. Yeah.
So I haven't shown the shawl before. This is the On the Spice Market shawl. It is by Melanie Berg. She is a wonderful, wonderful pattern designer.
This is so pretty. I think the purple's my favorite in
I know.
here.
The neons are just absolutely great. So I've followed this pattern for a while. It's not a new release or anything. It's a very popular pattern, and it was really big when it first came out. And everybody did it in these beautiful Moody Doody autumn colors. But Moody Doody. But I wanted bright and obnoxious, so I found some fun neons that I got from Midnight Cravings. So all of these neon colors here are from Midnight Cravings, which is a yarn shop that is, I think, based in Canada. And then the white yarn is, it is from the Lemonade shop. And the white one, I know the name of it, was called I Love Cake. And I got the, she has a couple of different bases of yarn. I got the one with cashmere in it because I wanted some softness to this.
Yeah,
definitely. So it is a little softer. And I wanted the neon brights. And this white, you can see, has like splashes. Like this is just a splash of neon that's in
like
the white.
Funfetti cake.
It is funfetti. So
yes.
This is one of my favorite wearables. I haven't gotten to wear it much since I made it because it's been so hot, but now it's like cooling down a little bit, and it's time to break this out, and thought it looked great with my little black tank top, so here I am wearing this. So this is On the Spice Market by Melanie Berg.
And you've really started in the past less than a year, maybe 6 or 8 months, being like, I want to knit a wardrobe. I want to knit for myself. Yes. I want to have...
Yeah, I started out as a gift knitter. I almost exclusively knit for other people. But I think I've got a good balance. I do some gift knitting, but now I'm knitting a lot more stuff that I'll wear. And you'll also see probably in our next episode that I'm working on some stuff for my boyfriend coming soon. Yeah. So
holidays are coming up. It's giving time to start gift knitting.
It's gift knitting time, but I'm still trying not to overwhelm myself because I have done the thing where you knit like 20 gifts for families, and it's a lot more work than I want to do this year. So, plus I'm a little selfish right now, trying to make stuff for me because this is beautiful.
I am desperately, I don't holiday craft too much. I tried not to set myself up for that too much, but every time a baby's born, I make a blanket. Yeah. I'm getting, my great Aunt Mabel, who unfortunately just passed away, was a major quilter, and every time a baby was born, they'd get a quilt. And I feel like I'm falling into that trap of like every time a baby's born,
they're getting a crochet
They get a blanket and then like usually a tiny little infant hat for their first pictures.
Aww.
And they're so cute.
Yes.
So that's always my like baby shower gift is like that set.
So then I have a finish. Now this is crochet. So
these are in the same
I actually
yarns,
used
right?
the leftover yarns from this to make the crochet finish. And I'll tell you, I did not use all the scraps. So I still have another scrappy project to come up with. So this is my new wall hanging, and it's got adorable little tassels.
This is like unicorn housewares. I don't know. It's so cute.
So cute. So I started off, this is one of my first bigger crochet projects. And I say bigger, I guess I mean more complex. Excuse me. So the pattern that I used is called the Daisy Square Travel Blanket by Color and Cream,
which is a cute little pattern.
Excuse me.
It is a very cute.
It is a very cute pattern, and it has, as far as crochet stitches in it, it has half doubles, double, and triple crochet.
So like. Easy to learn, but you're going to learn other techniques like putting your squares together.
The pattern is free, and there were so many really good pictures to go with the pattern to help teach me how to do those stitches. Like I did not feel like there was a learning barrier to this at all. I loved making this. Lauren sent me on a journey to learn how to do this is the slip chain. Is it called slip chain stitch? Slip join?
It's a slip stitch join.
Stitch join. That's what I'm trying to say.
Also sometimes called a zipper join.
A zipper join, yes. So she sent me a tutorial video of how to do that join.
And we'll link that below.
Below.
Interested in we'll link all our patterns and everything below. And this is originally, it's intended to be a blanket, right?
It is intended to be a blanket. I wanted something different because this is fingering weight yarn, and I wanted to use up my scraps. A blanket is not going to be made on my scraps because in fingering weight yarn would take me 9 million years. So I wanted something different. I also was originally planning on being able to put my enamel pins on this that I've collected. However, it's too pretty
to cover up.
It's too pretty
to cover up.
So I'm going to have to make something else that can go. I'm still thinking a wall hanging where I'll pin all of my little enamel pins on it.
Yeah.
But this, I mean, you can see I did. If I hold the bar straight, the tassels are like these two. It was a little work to get these two to hang even. But it is really fun. It's going to look great on my wall.
Could be summer, could be just a craft room decoration.
Exactly.
Very cute.
Beautiful.
I am not a fan of blank walls. I cover wall space. So crap like that, if that was for sale in a store,
that is something
it'd be a struggle. It'd be a struggle.
So that's all I have for finishes. And I know Lauren doesn't have any finishes recently because she gives everything away. So
I take on big projects too.
To whips.
So do you want to stay in crochet and I'll show a crochet whip?
Yes.
And then we'll go for one of your whips.
Yes.
So blanket or small? Blanket. Oh my goodness. So here.
First of all, look at the size of the bag that we have to have this blanket
This blanket has grown from bag to bag. It is, so I'm doing a 2020 temperature blanket. Started it at the beginning of the year with a friend of mine. She's doing one as well. And it's just something I've seen kind of around. I see it posted on Instagram when people kind of start or finish them. And was always like, that looks like a creative, cool way to do a blanket. And then I did like almost no research other than I understand what a temperature blanket is. You divide out your temperatures and assign a color. And then each day you check the temperature and that tells you what color the stripe or the square in your blanket is going to be. That's all the research I did.
Right.
I should have done research on things like size,
gauge,
manageability of like yarn, like requirements of yarn. I did none of that. I just started. And so I am I'm into June, so I'm a little behind, but I've been maintaining a little bit. I'm probably going to fall a little more behind here now that summer is here. But I don't think I'm going to open it all the way up just for sheer
right. Do we have it right side out? That's always the
key.
So it's a little bit of a hefty project.
Nope, it's too bad. Yeah.
Here we go.
So as you can see, I did not choose traditional colors. I did not choose, you go from like blue, it being coolest, and red being hottest. So if I go all the way down, my colors are much more random. And that's like the thing I really love about this blanket is the randomness, the kind of like letting the day decide.
So this is towards the bottom.
Yeah, that's the coolest colors there.
Yeah.
So whites and blues do show up as my cool colors. But most of my colors tend to be in the earthier shades. Now we're getting hot. And so I'm in the more yellows, bright red, purples, and it's cooling down now. So once I get out of July is going to be the hottest, and then August is cooling down. But I like the randomness. I am really enjoying just letting it develop. I'm not enjoying. I have 38 skeins of yarn
in it already.
No, not in it. I probably have 6 that I haven't gotten in it yet.
Oh, okay.
But I have ordered 38s and they will all be in there and I'm not done. I'm not done. And it is currently,
I mean, right now it's on the floor and on our laps and it's more than enough to cover.
More than enough. Like we can be so snuggly.
Yeah.
And it is 8 feet wide and it is going to be more than 10 feet long.
It's going to be a very large blanket.
It is going to very comfortably cover my bed with like a long fold down at the top. And I've like, it's a project. Doing a blanket, anybody that does a blanket will tell you it's a commitment.
It is a commitment.
And a 365 row blanket is a huge commitment.
Right.
So there's times I fall behind. There's times I don't feel like working on it. The pattern I'm using is the As We Go Stripey Blanket by Not Your Average Crochet.
And you can see, like, there's so many different stitches.
This was a stitch along that she did, or crochet along that she did, where she released the pattern in chunks. And it is a sampler blanket. So there are granny stripes, there are these mountains, there are bobbles. You can see my nice juicy bobble there.
Bobbles.
There are Catherine's wheels that look really great. It's a super fun blanket, so it keeps my interest. I knew I wanted something that would keep my interest. But when I get to the easy rows, it's just double crochet all the way across. I'm like, oh, thank God, we can make progress quickly. So, I mean, but I have really, really enjoyed it. I'm going to be super happy to have the end product, and it's a super fun blanket. I highly recommend it if you're looking to. Now, her original pattern is only about 100 rows high, and it's intended to be like a baby blanket or a throw. Do that. But if you're looking for a temperature blanket pattern, this one's super fun.
Yes. And I think maybe if you went with like a smaller yarn, you might be able to get a different gauge.
Yeah.
So that this wouldn't be so large. If you wanted to try
and pare it down. Yeah.
Yeah. Have something a little more manageable.
Yeah.
Because you're using Sport?
Yeah, I'm using Cascade 220 Sport is my.
So maybe if you could try doing like a test swatch with fingering, and you might be able to see.
Yeah, you might get it smaller. You would have a really lacy blanket then.
Would have. Yeah, I think it would be. I mean, this. So I'll just show this again. This is fingering weight. This here. Yeah. And it would be a light blanket in comparison.
But with the size you get, you can bundle that sucker up.
Right, and with the size you would get, you would maybe be okay with a lighter blanket, spring blanket.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't need a big, heavy. Like, this is definitely substantial enough to be like a warm, cozy.
On the hottest days, it was hard to work on because it covered my legs, and I'm like, I'm dying. But now I'm like, it's like super snuggly, so I'm like, I'm going to be happy to work on it in the wintertime.
It is
but yeah,
nice.
So that's my current whip. I am a little more than halfway done it now. Mm-hmm. But think about that. I'm now just a little more than halfway done. So we're going to double this.
Yeah, it's going to be big.
So I'm just going to, we'll fold it up later. I'm just going to kind of bundle it off to the side.
Off to the side. So I will show my next whip. So I might be going slightly out of order of what we wrote down, but.
And I would probably not be updating you guys on the blanket very often. You can't even tell I'm making progress on it a lot of the time. So maybe like every month I get finished. Something.
Yeah, every little bit she makes progress. We'll post it. So this looks like a mess. So this is a hat that I'm working on. And
this is so cute.
My needles and the yarn are a little tight, and there goes the thing that's supposed to save me. So let me just pull those off so I can pull my needles out and not lose stitches, because this is color work and I don't want to lose any stitches. So this, oh, you can see that is really cute. So this is the start of a hat, and it is my first color work hat. And my little birds. The pattern is called the Lovey Dovey Tam, and it's a really cute. It's gonna be I think you block it over a plate, so it's going to be sort of like a beret sort of style. It's just going to have this nice ribbed part that like will hold it a little better on your head. I have another beret that doesn't grip my head as well. So this pattern is by Donna Ritchie, and I got this as a whole kit when I was on a vacation to Maine. This was from 2018, I think, is when I went. Bought this pattern, sat on my yarn shelf forever, and now I'm knitting it slowly. It has taken me a while to get through this. It is definitely my challenge project. And there I go, dropping more stitches. So just quit sliding it here, but It's got these cute little hearts and these little birds.
Yeah.
And then there is more color work. The whole hat is color work. So I'll get the pattern out of the bag here. And I think I can show you without giving anything away.
Sorry for crinkles.
Yeah. This is what the final product. So I am just to the top of the bird's heads. I haven't even done that dark pink row there.
Yeah.
And so there's more color work up there. This part of the picture here is showing you what the top will look like once it's blocked. So it will have this nice, like these will be little hearts that you'll see from the top of it.
That is super cute.
It is a very well written pattern, and I'll link her website below because you can buy these kits online. They're not the easiest thing. Probably I've done color work one other time, so this is not like a.
So you're not like a super familiar person with
I'm not
color?
super familiar. I would say this one's definitely challenging though. It's not because the whole thing, because there's like no break in the color work. You don't. It's not like you just do a little bit and then you have like solid above it. Because there are hat patterns that have that where you would just do like this bird chart and the top would be easier, just kind of doing decreases in one color. That would be like a dip. Whereas this is like, we're all in. We're all in on this hat. So it has been a lot of fun, and I really like the colors. That's probably why I bought the hat, and I like the hearts and the birds and the pinks. I'm sort of a pink lady.
She is a pink lady.
So I'm hoping to have this done by the middle of September. So we'll see about that goal. Because it has taken me a while to get this far. I was hoping to have it.
It's all about priorities.
It is, but I have a slight interruption to this priority.
I mean, you are welcome to use my crafting schedule. I'll get you a calendar. We'll start journaling. It'll be great.
I don't know if I can be that regimented. Lauren is very organized with her crafting, and I'm just like, whatever strikes me is what I'll do.
I think most people are very like, very like, oh, what do I feel like today?
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I'm like, it's Tuesday. Tuesday is the day for X. We're going to work on that. And then like my blanket is my focus project. So I do like a week of other projects, and then I have to get so many rows of the blanket done before I'm allowed to do anything else.
Well, I think that's good in your case because you are working on a project as big as the blanket. It helps keep you motivated.
Yeah, it keeps
when
me...
you want to do these other smaller projects. And I know a couple knitters who do that, and that's like they do Whip Wednesday. Is sort of like a very common thing where you work on your whips, and that prevents people from just letting whips build up.
From being serial starters.
I'm not quite serial starter.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm at that level. Because I do finish mine.
Yeah.
I think I usually finish.
Serial starters just have stacks of. They're like, oh, that room full of baskets. Don't look in there.
Right.
Like
it's just a whole bunch of.
I think that's less of a problem for. I think that's less a problem for people with the like love of yarn because you don't want to just let yarn sit in a room untouched. Like you want.
Well, I don't know about that stash though.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I think letting the yarn sit is okay. There's a lot of people. So for me, my stash is something that I love. I don't have a large one, but I'm getting there because I now definitely have more yarn than I can knit like in a year. So I'm getting to have an accumulation, and it weighs on me when I have stuff that I don't know what I'm doing with, even though I've bought it because I loved it. I sit there and like I rearrange it, I look through it, I fluff it, and I kind of like pick out like, okay, I'm thinking about this yarn. What do I need to do with this yarn? It's kind of been here for a while, and so that's where like I picked up this kit recently for the hat. It sat on my yarn rack since I was on vacation in 2018, and hello 2020, and I'm just now knitting it. So it just weighs on me a little bit.
Well, as someone told us this past weekend, buying yarn and using yarn are two different hobbies. Collecting yarn is a hobby in and of itself.
Yes.
Like you get like a little anxious about your stash and you want to get it used.
Right.
Some people, the stash is the goal, right?
Right.
Like if it gets used, great, but the stash is the goal.
Exactly.
And so I think there's definitely, collecting yarn is a hobby in and of itself.
Absolutely.
And we have to recognize that.
Yeah. And I think I want to be the collector, but I struggle with like, oh my gosh, I have all this stuff sitting around and I really should make it. That's beautiful. I want to use it and I want to wear it, but I have all these other things that I'm working on. so it's definitely something to contend with.
Yeah.
So I have more whips.
Go for it.
All right. So.
Oh, I have another whip too, but we'll do mine now.
Sorry, I'm stretching so much. Oh yeah, you do have another whip. Yeah, okay, I already started. Me first. So, hope you guys can see this. So, and I'm showing the right side, not giving away any of the secrets of the pattern. So I am knitting. This is Ba Yarns Designs. This is called the Diamond in the Rough pattern. And the author is Myra Cole. So this is a pattern that was given to me. And it is meant for those, I believe they're called dip dyed yarns. It's where like half the skein is a solid. If you were to unwind the hank and just look at the circle of the hank, half of it is solid, half of it is beautifully speckled. And
so when you knit it up, it pools.
It's going to pull, but it's going to take advantage of that style of pulling. And you know, I've been knitting for 8 years, and I've always like been, you know, pulling is bad. Pulling, you don't want that in your work. It's bad. But I wanted to show off this really cool effect that I found through this pattern with how you can take advantage of that pulling. And look at that. So this is a yarn that if you were to just knit, it would have big chunks of white and big chunks of black. And some people like that, but some people are like, that looks sloppy, that looks like a bad dye job. But here's where you can see, like, it can look really cool if you take advantage of the dye style.
Right.
Now, I don't know specifics of like how it's done, that like if you were to try this with a different type of pattern. There's a website that I've found, and I'll link it below, where you can knit a swatch with your yarn, and it will calculate out. You also have to measure the how long is the, you know, on this yarn, how long was the black section, how long was the speckled section, and then you knit a gauge and you tell how many stitches are in your inches and plug all that into their program, and it spits out a couple ideas of how this will pull based on different styles.
That is a cool tool.
It is a really cool tool, and I'm kind of kicking myself now for not remembering the name of the website, but I will definitely link that below because I thought that would be awesome to try out sometime. I bought this skein of yarn from the Knot House, which is a yarn store in Frederick, Maryland, and if you've ever been to the Maryland Sheep and Wool, it's a big deal to also then hoof it up to Frederick and stop in at her shop. I didn't actually have that experience because the festival was virtual this year, which made me a little sad. But I did make it to her store, I think, my goodness, I think it was in February of this year, right before things, you know.
Yeah.
And
well, we're located in Western Maryland.
We are Western Maryland,
I don't know if we've mentioned that. And so Frederick is a bit of a trek, but not too bad.
Right, it wasn't bad. So anyway, when I made it to her store, she had, this was Madeline Tosh yarn that she had, and it's called Nightfall. And she only had one skein of it, and I bought it because I was like, oh, that is unique. I need to know what to do with this. And so now here I am working on something. So this is ultimately going to be a very long scarf, and you can see on the pattern picture, which I'm not holding well there, how the yarn pulled in this picture. Mine is doing something a little different because I'm actually getting this almost,
I love this, like Art Deco.
It's like an Argyle-ish.
Yeah.
It's so close to Argyle. But it's still pulling nicely, and it's gonna be unique. And I can't wait to get to the next section of this to see, like, it says in the pattern you need like 5 or 6 inches to really be able to tell what the pattern's gonna be. So I'm not quite there, but this is a good start.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is a for me knit, and it's gonna be something that I pick up and put down. The pattern's easy to memorize. I really enjoyed starting it and testing out this technique.
Cool.
Yeah. So
you
want to show your crochet?
Yeah, my crochet.
Your crochet.
So I am working on. So I have. One of the things I really like to make is homewares, and I like to make lacework doilies. And then I put them in an embroidery hoop frame and make earring hangers or all kinds of stuff out of them.
I have one.
Yeah, they're super. They're pretty nice. I am a huge collector of earrings. These beautiful earrings that I'm wearing. Because one, I have no hair, and so I feel like I need something going on with my face. So I have 3 or 4 of these hanging in my bathroom, and they're covered in earrings.
They're so pretty.
So I started this one to display pins. Similar to your enamel pin idea. This is a lacework doily by Tamara Gonza. It's called Tulips. I found it on Ravelry for free, and it is beautiful.
So involved.
It is. I mean, I'm in love after my headache goes away. So I have been, this is probably 3-ish nights of work. She has a fantastic tutorial. It's got lots of pictures of what each step should look like. It's very well written. She's a Russian designer, and then somebody translated her pattern, but you don't have any like translation errors at all. It's a really great free pattern. But boy, it is
a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and I wanted something challenging. I wanted something interesting. I didn't want just a standard, like, even though I love them, pineapple doily. She does very interesting things. She's using your standard stitches. I think the biggest she goes is a treble crochet. But she does so much interesting work. She does work in the front, work in the back, front post and back post, front loop and back loop. And she,
like the build on that.
Yeah, she goes up and down rows, so you get this like very nice like layers of work.
Yeah, you can really see how like this is like stepping up.
Yeah,
like there's like a lip.
Yep, and now I am working in. Let me see if I can find where I'm at here. I'm working on these petals at the top, and I'm doing this second row behind it. You kind of can't really see, but there's a whole. I'm basically building out this way now. I'm building forward instead of building up.
Right. And
it's so that the petals stand up on themselves and look great. It is so hard. It is so hard.
It's like 3-dimensional.
Yeah, it is 3-dimensional.
3-dimensional.
And it's like an art project. It's not, it has gone past just doing a yarn craft. We are into artistry now. We are into like when people are like, you know, craftsmen, like wood crafts. It's like we're building something.
Right.
And when I was working on this the other night, I think I had one little one of these petals done. So I did all the petals around, and then I started doing the 3D work, and I was like, shut off the TV. Shut up. I'm like, it's so hard. I'm like looking at my sister, and I is my roommate, and I'm just like, she's like, what's going on over there? I was like, it's so hard. I don't know why it's so hard, but it's so hard. This one stitch just, and I'm like, I've got to do 56 of this to get all the way around. And she's like, oh. And so I did, I think I did three out of the 8 petals, and my head was just like, our brain's broken. I'm sorry. The brain cannot go any further. Put it down. So this is probably going to take me a couple nights to just do this one row. But then once I'm past that, and I'll put a picture of kind of what it's supposed to look like here, I get into the more the center is where all this 3D work is. And so it'll be a lot more the center and the outer edge. So I'll get to like a little more and I can give myself a little bit of a break.
A little break, less
A
headache.
little bit of a break. It has been interesting to learn what's available and what you can do with crochet. I've been crocheting for 6 years. I've done all the sweaters or not the sweaters, the scarves and the stuff that everybody does. And
now you're diving into the meat.
Now I'm diving
crochet.
into the meat of it, and it is like, oh, we can do this?
Right.
This is amazing. Like, let's do more of this. And then my poor little brain's like, maybe later.
Maybe later.
But she is, I can't believe that's available for free. And with such a fantastic
That is
tutorial.
so much design work.
So
that
much
is
design
just
work.
free.
That's just free. And she's just like, and I'm doing it with number 10 Clark's crochet thread. It looks great. I love the color. The one problem is every time you work with crochet thread, anybody can tell you, it kinks. It spins itself up. You've got to like stop and hold your work and by the string and let it unwind and then work a little farther. I did find that my paper towel holder is the perfect size to jam the little spool it comes on over and like manage it a little bit, but it's still like I've got to stop every round or so. And I even tried making myself like a yarn pet, and it just didn't work.
You're just
like
gonna have to get one.
I'm just gonna have to get one or live with it, and
yeah,
you gotta live with problems.
Ask yourself, how frequently are you going to do this, and is it worth investing or just doing?
Yeah, exactly. But this one will be about 15 inches when it's done, so it's going to be a pretty big. I'm going to put it in a quilter's embroider hoop, and so I look forward to showing you that.
Yeah. So I have one more. Yeah, this is my last whip
For now.
And I gotta get it out of here. I kind of packed the bag a little full, so hang on while I organize. Oh, I did the bad thing, guys. Stopped in the middle of a row. Of course I did. So I'm not gonna be able to show it very well because it's brioche and I can't just like yank the needle out because that is an unholy nightmare. So, Lauren, will you help me hold this?
Sure.
So I'm gonna hold up these two ends, and if you just make sure the needles don't come out.
I can hold on to the needle.
Yeah, there we go. That does show pretty well.
Yeah.
Though. So this is my Stephen West shawl. This is the Exploration Station. I'm using up mainly leftovers with a few new purchases in it.
Down here, this
So
beautiful brioche
I'm gonna
started.
turn it because I just got to the brioche section. This is my second project with brioche in it. And this brioche is so much easier than the first one that I did. The first one was lacy brioche.
You literally learned on a moderate pattern
Yes.
instead of an easy one.
Yes. So I'll talk a little bit about the yarns. This one has the gold is designs by Delz.
Down below.
Everything will be linked down below. The pink is Avalon Spring Farms. They are local to Maryland, which I love.
Yeah, we love supporting our Maryland.
This green
artisans.
is
So pretty, Lauren's color.
Rosehill yarns, and it is, I can tell you the colors. The gold is Minnie's Wheat. The pink is My Love Rose. And this green is Succulent. Let's blink in there for a minute. The gray is Miss Babs, color Platinum. And what I did was the Grocery Girls are actually having a knit along right now, and it's running until the end of August. And it's a Stephen West along, so pick any pattern. Whips were allowed to count. Mine was not a whip, it was a fresh start. I've had my eye on several Stephen West patterns, but I just never really got it together to knit one of his.
I love his stuff.
I do too.
A year ago, we were at Frederick Fiber Festival, and one of his books was on some vendor stall, and I was like, Devynn, you need to knit this stuff. And she's like, I like traditional knits.
Yeah.
And now she's wearing a neon and I was like, no, he looked so punk rock. He had his pink mohawk floof, and he was wrapped to the nose in his shawl, and I was like, this man is important, Devynn.
Yes, so I've since learned who he is and that his designs are awesome. I actually have like 3 other patterns of his that are not something I can do anytime soon, but they're on my list. I'm gonna do the doodler and probably dotted rays, which are
Very
really
pretty
awesome
stuff.
shawls. So that's all I have for finishes and whips. What about you? You're all wrapped up?
That's me. I'm all wrapped up.
Okay, well our next little section is going to be acquisitions, and I have a pile of shame.
You have a pile of stuff. We have been, for the past 2 weekends, we have been traveling up into Pennsylvania very carefully. We always wear our masks. We always hand sanitize. We always do all the steps of social distancing. We've been very careful.
And we did make private meetings with the stores.
Yes,
So we
tried to make appointments.
We weren't in any place with a large crowd.
No.
We kept it very small and low key.
Yeah.
So.
And we went to Bedford, PA, and went to a, kind of by accident, fantastic quilt shop.
Yeah.
The Sewing Box Quilt Shop in, is she right in Bedford, or she's a little ways? No, she's not. She's in...
not. What's that town called? Oh.
Ooh, I'll link her below. I can't remember the town she's in.
But her shop is called the Sewing Box Quilt Shop.
It is amazing. If you are a quilter, which...
She's in Somerset, Pennsylvania.
She's in Somerset?
Yeah.
We were just in Somerset again. We should have stopped in again. She is... my sister's a sewer and trying to get into quilting and everything, and so we just kind of stopped on our way in, and her shop is like the mecca of quilting. It is so great.
Pretty.
She was super friendly and
so well laid out. You could find, I mean, she had displays, and with every display there were the kits to go with it. The fabric was right there.
It was beautiful.
It was, and she had great lighting. I mean, I have to applaud her on her lighting alone, because it was so bright. There was no like, when I get out into the sunshine, is this going to look different? No, so pretty.
So pretty. And
beautiful modern
one of the things
patterns
that quilting shops, I think, fall into, and it's the same with all shops, they cater to an older crowd, and so they have a lot of like the same things up, and like, a lot of autumn colors, and we're in kind of a rural area, so there'll always be like a deer scene quilt, and she's like, nope, it's summer, we're doing tropical. Everything was like her main like models up in her main room were like beautiful turquoises and blues and purples and oranges.
She had
and
a really pretty bright tropical green quilt that was toward the back. I don't know anything about quilting to tell you like what patterns or squares they were or anything like that, but it was.
But she had a really good mix of like modern to traditional, and she's like, oh, like, if you guys had just stopped in a couple days, we're taking over a whole nother section of this shopping center. We're gonna be twice as big. So she was super awesome. Yes. And then we made the trek to Bedford to go to the yarn niche. I'm sorry.
I did get something from the
I
sewing
picked up
box
gifts for my sister.
So this is my new project bag. So what she does is, and I'm not sure if this is like something that all quilt shops do or how it works, but she designs all these kits for her shop, and then she always has a sample made of her kits. And then once the kits are all sold out, fabric's gone, she puts the sample on sale too. And I like to try to sew, but I know my skills have limits. And this was a super cute, I mean, like, this has like little embroidery bits on it.
This is adorable.
It's so cute. And so this was her shop sample, and this is like a nice jean material, and then it has a really cute lining and a bright contrast pocket. Super cute bag. I'm really excited to use it for knitting, of course, and I'm always looking for more project bags. So I thought this was adorable, picked it up at her shop, and I love it. Yeah. And then, so the next, one more thing I got from her shop was my beginner sewing skills, and you can't see the pattern from this, which kind of stinks, but this is at her shop. It is a little fabric book. I'm gonna make a crinkle. Crinkles. Sorry guys. So it's like fabric panels that you cut out
to make
a children's book. So
that is so cute.
My friend,
I had several of these when I was a baby.
Yeah, my friend has a 1-year-old. I'm gonna make him a little book. Hopefully have this done maybe
Before
by
he's
Christmas.
two.
Before he's 2. Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal.
Before he's like, I read Harry Potter now. What are you talking
Right.
about?
So I bought that little kit as something to give a try.
Yeah,
We'll see.
we love trying crafts.
Yeah. So that's what I got from the sewing box.
Yeah.
And then after that, we went up to Bedford, PA.
Mm-hmm. We've continued our trek.
Yes.
To Bedford and went to the yarn niche and got to meet Dottie, who is the owner. She's super awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We were just on a little yarn trek that day.
Mm-hmm.
And you got fun stuff.
I did. I wanted to try some new yarn.
I got a cute bag
this
for
one came
notions
apart.
over there.
So I got, this is Queensland Collection Rainbow Beach, and the colorway is Castaway. And what I thought it was similar dye style or similar spin style process, similar process to some yarns that are really popular right now, like Spin Cycle. And this was something that I just wanted to give a try and see, how I like this yarn. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I have a couple ideas.
Yeah,
it is fingering weight. So my original thinking was I would try to do the Shift Cowl by Andrea Mowry. I'm going to have to fiddle with that one to get gauge right because I'm using a fingering weight yarn where her pattern I think calls for Sport or DK. So there'll be a little fiddling.
Fiddle a little bit,
but
not too terrible.
I'll see what happens.
And like you said, that's a very similar thing to Spin Cycle, but it might not lay exactly the same. Might
And the fingering weight is going to make a difference.
Yeah, you'll have to see.
So yeah, I'm excited to try that, and that is everything that I got from the yarn niche.
Yeah. So then, yesterday
we
went on another trip up to Pittsburgh, which is where we live in Western Maryland. Like, people forget we're part of Maryland. In fact, like, TV stops at Hagerstown. Like, we don't get Maryland news. We don't get anything like that. It all comes from Pittsburgh. And so around here, everybody is a Steelers fan. There's a couple of Ravens fans that get laughed at for. Everybody gets their news from Pittsburgh. We're just very connected to Pittsburgh in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Penguins, super rock. So we go when we go on like a big shopping trip. We don't go to Baltimore or DC. We go to Pittsburgh. And it was super fun to go around. We hit a couple shops, and then halfway there I realized I didn't have earrings in, and oh my god, that's a travesty. So we stopped at an adorable boutique and got to shop for fun stuff. And I spent all my money there, so I didn't get any yarn.
I think the boutique we stopped at was called Victorian Manor.
Victorian Manor in, I think it was Lebanon, is like a suburby place outside of Pittsburgh.
I got earrings there as well, so I'll show these.
I can just kind of show off it's hard to see this bead because it's glossy, but we stopped in. I was just like, I just need a pair of earrings. This place looks promising because I feel naked. Also, it's an excuse to buy earrings. And
do you need one?
We spent too much time in there. I spent too much money in there. I almost redecorated my house with that place.
Oh my gosh, it's such a cute shop.
Such a cute shop. So if you're ever in Pittsburgh, check out the Victorian Manor.
Yes.
But yeah, I spent like almost $80 in there and couldn't buy yarn.
And then we went
over and got to go to McWalker Yarn.
McWalker Yarn.
And if you're in the Pittsburgh area, go to McWalker Yarn. It's fantastic.
A great shop.
It's a great shop. Amy is the owner, and she is super knowledgeable, super like, she's not gonna bullshit you.
No.
She is not gonna say, oh yeah, that'll be fine.
Right. She knows her stuff. She is going to help you if you're looking like, I want to start a project and I, don't know where to start. I think like she is gonna swoop in and just help you get organized. She'll help you talk through pattern options, and she'll tell you like if you've picked out a yarn that the yarn you've picked out might or might not work for the project. because she wants you to make a project that you're going to love and wear in the end.
Yeah.
So if you work out what you're expecting from your project, I think she's going to be able to give you the information to get where you need to be.
And she has a fantastic selection. She has
shepherd's wool. She has every color range.
Every color,
Every
like
color.
a wall of it.
A wall.
And you're just there like anything I want, I can have.
Yes.
And she is like,
and she's so much more. She's
so,
sweet Georgia yarn. She has
Juniper Moon. She
several
has
like local indie dyed yarns, which I didn't catch the names of most of those. But
she has an exclusive with is it Neighborhood
Fiber Co. She
Fiber
carries
Company.
Neighborhood Fiber Co.
And she's an exclusive with them, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. She also has her own tea blend.
She has her own tea blend, which I got. I'm not drinking right now because I needed caffeine this morning.
Right.
But she is just the cutest shop on earth.
Yeah.
So check her out.
Yes. And then I got some acquisitions there. Now I got, I was looking at the indie dyed yarns, but I do have a large quantity of indie dyes. So I wanted something a little more, I don't know if common's the right word, because Malabrigo is hard to find around us, but I did want something that's a little bit more regular, I guess. So this is Malabrigo.
Stable, dependable.
Yeah. Just
maybe that's not the right word either.
You know, honestly, I've barely knit with Malabrigo yarn, and I know it's all the rage, so I wanted to try something. Yeah. I saw that Amy had this really cute, chunky, bulky yarn hat knit out of this.
That's the other thing. Her models are all gorgeous.
Yeah. Her models will sell you yarn. They did me. So I bought this really beautiful, it's called Cucumber Malabrigo, and it is the most beautiful teal. So I have a gray pom-pom that I'm probably going to put with this. So I'm going to knit a chunky little hat out of this.
And in a twist, Lauren picked the color.
Yeah.
Which is almost never happens.
I know, and it's I mean, I like teal. I love teal, but when I buy my own yarns, I'm so often leaning towards that pink. And here lately, I have accumulated a bit of blue. This is Lauren's influence, but this was my own. So I forget what this one's called. It is Katya's Infinity Shawl, and it's like a nice ombre. You can see I had to wind it because when I pulled it out of my bag, I sort of dropped it, but hooked a chunk of yarn, and so like the ball was going to tangle and be ugly. Yeah. So I wound it, and I also wound it so like the light is what's pulling first. So when I knit my shawl, I can start light, and this is going to fade very well. She had a sample in the shop showing it.
She had a sample that we looked at.
This
like 3
shows
times.
the fade better.
Yeah. We looked at the sample 3 times. You grabbed that and you said, "This is what I'm getting."
Yes.
And then we walked up, and she looked back at the back of the room again, where the shawl is hanging on the wall, and was like, "What makes that shawl?" And Amy was like, "This ball of yarn."
And I said,
and she just grabbed. She didn't even look. She just like, "I need it."
I looked at it before I asked Amy, and then I saw that pattern at the back, and I'm like, "What makes that?" And I needed that. I needed it because I'd already liked it, and then I was like, "Yeah, I need more."
So her stuff is really beautiful.
Her stuff is beautiful. So I have more acquisitions.
Go for it.
So
this nut.
I am a nut. So I'll start with.
Now this thing is.
Start with this thing.
Like, brilliant.
So I've been needing a knitting needle case, and you can tell this one
knitting needle case
is large. Yes, I have. So I have the Chalgu knitting needle sets. They're interchangeable, and I like the case that it comes with. But I do have, when you open it, the needles sometimes move in and out. It's not great at keeping them in place. And I also have 2 interchangeable sets because I do have the Knit Picks set too, and I just want everything in one place. Because I was keeping them all in this bag, and I'd have to reach in this bag and pull out a mess of needles, and I'm like, ooh, I want something neat. I found it. So, I went to Etsy, and I was just looking around, and it took me a while to find this person. So, I just want to brag about her a lot, because everybody is doing the roll-up cases, and I have a roll-up case. It's great for my straight needles. I don't knit with straight needles. I knit with circulars. And I also knit with the short tips. So they're fidgety in those roll-up things.
Oh yeah, those things, they can
So-
kind of fall all over the place.
I'm going to show you the inside of this case. So this is Grace's Cases. I'll link her site below.
This thing is just
This is so well thought
so
out.
brilliant.
I believe I got what was called the deluxe case. This section here, I put all of my fixed circular needles, which you can tell I don't have that many. There are a few that are so short they're falling down in, but whatever. And then she's so thoughtful to include this little thing. I can slip a piece of, or I have the paper in there. I could slip a label on there. Each one of these pockets snaps.
Nothing's
Then
going anywhere.
There's this page, which
Which
has,
you can remove if needed. It zips on.
it is removable. So this is a zipper pouch, and I'm keeping my extra long double points in there. So, get one out to show you. I bought these carbons, Knitter's Pride carbons, to test them out, and they're too tall for the case this way. So you can see that sticks up.
Perfectly.
But they fit in the zipper pouch, and it's great. And I don't have a whole bunch of those, so that's, I usually prefer, that's I think an 8-inch. I usually prefer a 6-inch, which would fit perfectly in this case. So then you have the page with the double points, and this is like a stretchy, some sort of stretchy fabric. This is almost like a leather, faux leather, something like that. And this is a little piece of elastic, holds the needles in. They're not going, I mean, I'll do this on video. They're not going anywhere. They're not budging, which is nice.
I have tried sewing. And I know for a while you were like, I can't find what I want, because you take your knitting everywhere.
Well, so I'll tell you what was, I have a, what's that called? I have a leather bound planner case. I don't use the planner anymore. I was going to remove it and sew my own pages. I actually had an idea to do this. I'm not skilled enough.
Sewing is black magic.
There is so much involved in this, like to get what she did. These snaps, these labels, these nice pockets, plus the material that she used here, knowing to use the stretchy, this stuff.
It's like neoprene. It's like wetsuit material there.
And this is padded. This is padded here.
Yeah, it's all quilted and beautiful. And she is obviously so thoughtful of what her customer wants and needs. She is so talented, and she's just making something that works perfectly. And so, like, after the struggle of like, I guess I have to figure out how to sew this.
Yeah,
find her was pretty amazing.
It was really nice to find her, and it took some digging on Etsy, but I'm gonna brag about her, and so y'all should totally support her shop if you can. I'm going to say that this was a rather expensive case, but it does everything that I have needed in a knitting case. If you have a large collection, this is the case for you. Yeah. If you have just a few and you're not ready to make this leap because, you know, maybe you haven't been knitting for that long, this might not be the thing for you. But I'm telling you,
smaller ones.
She does have smaller ones. And she also has crochet specific ones. You will notice I have my own crochet hooks in here. This is where she has a double point page. I did have, these are a size, I think they're a size 17. They're a chunky needle. They didn't fit in my slots over here. So I did move them to here. That's fine.
That's where they're supposed to be.
This is where you put your double points. I put my crochet hooks, and I only have one of my double points in here because it was the one I could find. I have them all over the place. So I need to get them together. And then this is just like another little zipper notion pouch. Love it. This has been great. I mean, I have no fear. My needles aren't going anywhere. They're not falling. When I need a needle for a project, I'm going to be looking in this case and not in 2 different cases and a knitting bag.
And the floor and the
Well,
the
it's
couch
not floor.
and
It's usually on a coffee table.
Yeah.
They're going
wherever
in
it
here.
got set down. The also, that case is incredibly well made. You might pay a little upfront, but you're gonna have that case forever. So
I think it's gonna last a long time.
She's really awesome.
So, more purchases. So I signed up for Taproot magazine. I got a subscription. This is my first knitting. I'm gonna say
Which
knitting
means I kind of got a subscription.
Yes, I'm sharing my magazines with Lauren so she can see. So they are food, farm, family, craft. And they organize their book. I think it's like Head, Heart, Hands. And so there's always like a really good written pieces in here. That's the newest one.
Sure.
This is a back issue called Forage. And I wanted foraging because of like, I'm campy and woodsy and I want to learn how to like take advantage of what's out in the forest because I know very little. I know about morels because there's lots of people who collect morels in this area, so I do know morels a bit. I don't know any other mushrooms, so I wanted to learn something. So this has a story about like wild flavors, like talking about like different things you can add to your food, different edibles. It also has a section about mending homemade pasta. There's always a recipe. There are always several crafting projects. It's not always knitting, but there is always a knitting project in here, and there's usually crochet.
This is the crochet rug from the latest issue. That is just something so unique, you know. It's like not something you just get to see all the time.
And now this is in Forage, so this is a back issue, and this is really cute embroidery that you can do on your little canvas bags. There's always something useful and fun. There's a knitting pattern in here too. So here's it's really hard not to show the magic sauce that is the pattern. They just have such good pictures and stories,
it's a very nice little.
I'm very excited to have them. So I haven't read either one of these yet. I just picked them up last weekend. They were pre-orders, so I ordered them like 2.5, 3 weeks ago. So they did take a little bit to come here, but now I'm on their subscription, so I'll get one. I think they do every 2 months. They do one, so be a while before I get the next one. I think October is the next one, but I'm excited. I really like it. I really like the style, and I have time to read them.
Yeah.
Then I have one more acquisition.
This looks a little beat up.
This does look a little beat up because I had to rip the box open, but I wanted to show the box because if you have subscribed to Countess Ablaze's Yarn Cartel and you haven't gotten your box yet, this is your warning. Spoiler alert. I got mine. So excited for this. So, I have had one other Yarny subscription box. I had Jimmy Bean's bags. I got the small bags and they were just little samples of yarn with little projects. I didn't keep up with it though, and I just kept accumulating yarn, so I canceled it after 3. So I just decided I watched this one for a year. I mean,
you've learned a little more about what you're looking for. She
started a theme at the beginning of this year called Yarn Cartel, and it's like you're a little yarn mule and you're smuggling the little yarns, and she does this really cute, first thing is like there's this little, I'll just show the top. This quarter, I don't remember how frequently it comes out, sorry. But the theme is the little blue pill, which is Viagra, in case you didn't know. And she does this little printout. So there is a lot of information in this little newsletter.
Like how the yarn is chosen and...
Oh, it's about the little blue pill, about the history of Viagra. I haven't read it all, but I read the cover.
Such a weird thing.
It's such a cool theme. She's very non-traditional.
Yes, obviously.
She is such a punk rocker girl. She's so cool. Anyway, UK themed little yarn subscription, and I got the full box. So it came with those snacks. So came with these little snacks. These are gourmet popcorns.
Because crafting is hungry work, people.
Yes. It also came with a tea, blueberry and mint, little blue pill themed. And it also came with a yarn one, because there's multiple.
Of course.
So yarn 2, it's
now this is Lauren. Can we just
yarn 3.
So we've got
2 full skeins and a mini
2 full skeins.
in this.
So Little Blue Pills and Accidental Outcomes, which is
well, I think that's from when Viagra was being developed. It was supposed to be a heart medication, and then they found the side effect is Viagra, and so that's the little happy accidents. And these are all a BFL base. Now, I think when you sign up, there is it's a mystery of base that you're gonna get. So it was kind of exciting to get this. It was something that I waited for, wanted this theme at the beginning of the year, but at the time I just couldn't justify it. And I'm not really sure if now's the right time for me to be doing this, pandemic and all, but I decided, what the hey, I want to support this woman. Her stuff is so awesome. And
yeah, her stuff is beautiful.
I've never been able to find her yarn in a shop anywhere locally to us, but I wanted to try it, and I thought, what better way to try it than to sign up for the thing that I've wanted.
Yeah.
And I can thank Indie Untangled, which is a website that promotes indie dyers as the influencer, because I saw this on one of their newsletters back in the beginning of the year.
Link below.
I'll link below. And I've just kind of had it in the back of my mind, something that I wanted to try, and now I get to try it, so I'm very happy. So I have a lot of acquisitions this episode. Don't expect that in the future. This is not.
Yeah, this has been a
busy shopping time, and it was not anticipated. So I'm just gonna rein it in for maybe a month or 2.
Yeah.
I have lots to enjoy though.
Yes,
so,
definitely lots of projects to work on.
All of my acquisitions, Lauren. It's a lot of work to talk through that.
Talk through all your buying your addiction issues.
It was a problem. It was sort of like I bought one thing. Well, I will tell you, this Yarn Cartel was a and also a pre-order. I think she's going to be opening, or already has slots open for the next one. I'll link her website below. So since it was a pre-order, it wasn't all like I just bought this yesterday. It was I paid for that back in June, beginning of June. So it was something that I paid for and waited for. And similar with the magazine subscription.
But who
No.
cares? It's not like, as long as you're not going into
Maybe
debt.
I'm over justifying my acquisitions.
Yeah, as long as you're not going into debt to support your yarn habit, I think you're okay.
I'm not yet. Not there yet. Oh, but I am in some knitting debt.
You need to get to work.
Yes.
That is kind of everything we had to talk about. Anything else you want to go over?
I think we covered stuff, right?
So like we said, if you haven't checked out our little channel update, we'll link it again at the end of the thing. We will be doing this every 2 weeks, hopefully on Fridays, and we hope you found something interesting or something, a project that you are, want to know more about. If you have any suggestions or questions or things we could be doing better, please let us know. Please help us out.
We are inspired by the shops we're shopping from and by the designers we're crafting from. And we really, really hope that we can share their work and inspire you guys. Yeah. If there's someone that you have found inspiring, let us know.
Yeah,
definitely. We would love to sample new products and, review them on our website. Not review, but share them. Share their products.
Review them on our website, you almost said.
I did. we don't have a website. We would love to just experience new yarns and yarn related supplies, accessories, whatever. Just share them with you guys. Get the word out. We love these independent crafters.
Yeah, that is one thing we're super happy to be in Western Maryland. We're surrounded by people doing amazing artisan crafts, and we love being a part of that. So so hopefully you are along for this crazy ride.
Along for our journey.
But thank you so much for being with us and stopping by, and we'll see you.